It's another episode of Lessons from Mom. And today I'm going to be sharing about conflict resolution / forgiveness. I thought this was one important lesson that my mom gave me because I watched that hurt many times. Hurt from words from in-laws, sometimes neighbors, sometimes friends. Something about we had children. I was one of those that because I wasn't an outgoing person, I was usually indoors, typical introvert, and I just liked my indoors. I remember someone saying to her at the preparation of my dad's 60th birthday at the time, or was it 50th? One of the two. And she had said, I don't think this one is ever going to get into any relationship, not to talk of getting married or having a family. I saw my mom hear those kind of hard words or judgmental words or condemning words. And then I saw her move on like nothing happened. I watched that process, people's words of hurt, words of embarrassment, words of shaming. And I saw her talk about it like, that's who they've chosen to be. That doesn't have to be me. I saw her go through victimization from her in-laws at some point, some other in-laws. And I saw her forgive. But then it wasn't just what she showed, it was also what she said to us. At times when we came back and said, I was treated this way, or there was a fight that I got involved in and this was how I was bullied. For example, in elementary school, I did go through a lot of bullying for various reasons. I guess because I was that quiet person that just wanted to be by myself because of how I had been raised. And so I would come back and talk about those things, and then she would say, it's okay. They can choose to be who they are, but you don't have to respond to them based on who they are. You can choose how you would respond, and you can choose how you will handle the situation, and you can choose how you would respond. And that you didn't have to react, but you could actually intentionally respond. And so it wasn't just what she did, it was also what she said. She was intentional about helping us see that life is hard and that sometimes people could be tough on us and they could bully us and they could make things difficult for us and they could oppress us and they could compete with us. Her response though was irrespective of what they did, we had a choice on how we wanted to respond. And so it was, we were going to be kind. We were going to choose to listen. We were going to choose to forgive. We were going to choose to give a second chance. We were going to choose to forget. Because she would actually often say that if we continue to focus on our own lane, then it's either they will join us or we would have gone ahead of them. And so she gave us internal resolve to not be bothered about what people said about us or how people treated us. Now, that was very hard for someone like me who really used to be very concerned about what people said about her. But as I have grown without her, I have remembered those words and they've helped me. And so at times when people have been hard or said the wrong things about me or critiqued me or judged or condemned, I have seen how I have stopped and checked the value of what they've said against who I really believe I am or who I can be. And I've made decisions on how to move on and how to forgive and how to give a second chance. Because I think our exit from the world also taught me that life is short. And that if life is short, then the way we treat people while we are here determines what they say when we have left. That for me is one of the big lessons that my mom's life taught me. Because like I said in previous episodes, I lived to hear people say things about her. And so the way she chose to forgive, the way she chose to handle conflicts, the way she chose to handle misunderstandings, the way she chose to move on from those negativities and embrace positivities and build and make better and heal and move on is what we remember today when she's no more here. And so the challenge I have for you today is, what is hurting you? Who is that person that is saying things regularly that just always breaks you down? That's their choice. But you don't have to react to their choice. You can take time to stop or pause and reflect on what your response will be. Because at the end of the day, unforgiveness is like a prison. And unfortunately, guess who is in that prison? The person that chooses not to forgive. Because the person outside of it might not even know that they have not been forgiven and they have moved on. And so I challenge you today to step out if you are in a cage or a prison of unforgiveness, to take a moment to reflect on what caused that. What did they say? What did they do? How did they behave? How did they hurt? And then intentionally decide on what your response will be to what they have done. And that is you freeing yourself from that prison and freeing yourself from that cage and choosing how you want to move forward.
Was an upfront person. She was a type of person whom, if she had issues with you, she'll tell you. She wasn't the type of person who was going to stomach things or who was going to pretend. Whatever she felt, if she felt you weren't doing right or she didn't like what you had done or she had noticed something, she was the type of person that was going to call you at the nearest opportunity, at the very closest opportunity chance that she has. She was going to call you and she was going to say it. And the moment she said it, was all. She wasn't the type of person who was going to pretend and then we were going to be seeing her, acting one way, acting funny or the other. You knew where she stood anytime.
I remember you all the time for your wisdom, your counsel, your wisdom in managing in-laws especially. It cannot be traded for anything. You were a great woman of virtue, of love, of kindness.
She was a straight, very honest, very frank, down-to-earth person. There was no... What you see is what you get with her. There was no deception at all. And we became quite close. And we raised our children together. And we shared a lot of very good memories.
I'd love to read some of your comments and responses in the comment section. We can forgive together. Because life is more than this. Thank you.
You're the song I sing, a steady drum beneath my wings. Through